Alexander, how are you? Mar, K-Man, AJ, Mark, John, Bran. Bran is stellar. You ever hear this? I'll let you use it, Bran. People ask you how you are. You say, I'm as brilliant as a diamond. You better put on your shades. How's that? That's brilliant. So let's take a look at what's going on. Make sure that everyone on X is seeing us because we give some pretty good actionable ideas in here for free, but it's a tip of the iceberg compared to what happens inside the chat rooms. Keep that in mind. This is half an hour of analysis and trading. I know they used to promote it. You could trade in your spare time, like, you could work and trade 2 hours a day. I guess you could do it, but, you're only trading snapshots. Never really will have a feel for the market. So let me start with K-Man today because of the yen. What lit it up
Friday,
today?
hi.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. What lit up the yen? Just a confirmation of yesterday's Takaichi and Katayama about their plans. The dollar is still doing all right, and also what actually helped the yen pairs higher is that Takaichi has a much better popularity rating than Ishiba or Kishida ever had, the prior prime minister. So and especially the young voters trust her. So that's given the market a kind of a green light to trade whatever she's planning, which is more stimulus. And
Yeah.
yeah, and then there was an article, I think, but it may have been before actually the show yesterday where that Bank of Japan sources piece. Yeah, I think it was before our show yesterday. That sources piece that says that the Bank of Japan may not move until 2026. But I think the market has a grip on the yen, and for as long as we don't see intervention threats, I think we can continue for a while. That's how I'm positioned anyway.
Yeah, you have upside targets?
Well, in the dollar yen, there is a fair bit of activity. There's a longer term trend line, which is the bigger triangle top line, which comes in at around 144, 15, 30 or so. I think that could be a decent target if the prior high would be retested and maybe smalls gives way. And there's some interesting long-term stuff going on the euro yen. That could be on its way to 179.5 or so.
Yeah, the crosses
Um,
are pretty strong. So
yeah, they're strong. Yeah, still strong. And that's the thing about the yen is you don't only judge the dollar yen, you have to look at what the crosses are doing, and the crosses remain bid as well. So it's still a yen thing. It's not just your dollar yen that's going up.
so you don't think that either guppy or euro yen here could end up being some kind of failing rally and not make a high? It
Oh,
looks like new highs are baked in, or could we this right here could be a retracement of this,
yeah,
couldn't
of
it?
course, but I mean that's not the way I look at it. What I found interesting is that if you go back a little bit below, you have that high there around 175. Then we had that gap open which was just below 175. Then we had a retracement just around 175, and from there we are going up again. So to me, for as long as that zone holds there, I'm feeling relatively confident with longs. Has to be it. You know what? It's maybe tomorrow. If we get an inflation print that is way higher than the expectations and it weighs on risk, that could potentially weigh a bit on all those yen pairs. But I mean, okay, the technicals may say something, but then I'm listening to what the politics are doing in Japan, and they are going to
Yeah.
spend money. And that doesn't push me to be long yen. I still find it very hard to be long yen for more than a session or two when risk comes into play.
Okay. Anything else? You have any
Yeah,
comments on metals or what?
yeah. Well, I had the trend line yesterday, right, which came in right around 4,000. So we had tried there a couple of times. Everybody was looking for the break of 4,000, the flush, and we had a good few snipers in our room who were we were all waiting for the flush to then go long, but it didn't happen. Stopped right before the 4,000. If and I have this trend line actually starts in end of August, where from where the last ramp higher really started in the 33s or so, and that comes in right around 4,000, and that held pretty well yesterday. So it's stabilizing here now. Inflation tomorrow, which could be a mover, but all the fundamental geopolitical reasons to for it to remain supported are still there. And I guess that what I've been saying on the flow show, I expect a bit of a range until tomorrow. Then we see what happens tomorrow. It's never too late to flush out below 4,000, but it all going to depend. To me, the next real move potentially has to wait until the end of next week, where we will see what happens, whether Trump is going to meet Xi, whether there is renewed possibilities of a Trump-Putin meeting, or how the Ukraine stuff is going to pan out. So potentially the next big move in gold may have to wait for a week, but it's volatile, so we don't know what the next $50 are, and I think we are going to range a bit 44,000, 4,200 or so, 4190.
Okay. Before I forget, earlier in the week you had nat gas gapping up and still looking good. And uh, great call by Chris the other day about buying crude. So I guess the sanctions against some Russian oil companies
Yeah.
generated this. But the implications are if natural gas has bottomed and it's going, and
Mm.
I was looking for one more low. Some people were thinking in the mid 50s or so
Yeah.
in WTI. But
61 three
that's not
quarters.
going to help. That's not going to help the inflation outlook if
No,
because
but
that's been his one victory. President Trump keeps talking about lower gas prices and how much lower energy prices are. If that shifts with what's going on politically, let alone if there's an Israel-Iran 2.0,
mm,
that could really throw a monkey wrench into
yeah.
uh,
Have,
trying to
yeah.
keep the
Have a look on
economy together.
WTI. We are on an interesting level here. 61 three quarters. That's We've been watching that in the room as well. It's an interesting level, 61 three quarters on WTI.
Yeah.
On crude. It's quite interesting. I'm actually, I must say, slightly positioned for higher oil because I'm short Euro Norway, and it's been relatively responsive, the Norwegian kroner, to it. So yeah, dollar Norway is rather is a maybe a more difficult trade because of the dollar bit of it. It is trying to go below 10, and if we get below 997, 98, it could accelerate to the downside. But therefore, the dollar should not be too strong, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I've been doing it via the cross, so it's behaving pretty nicely for now.
Okay. I do think the reason the yen will come down is because the risk off. I had a pretty good break yesterday that it recovered from, but we failed to make this new high here. Still could be a failing rally for, I don't know, one,
Mm,
two, three, or A, B, C. Um, but I think the action's lousy with things like Nvidia.
yeah,
$15 off the high, with us on the verge of making new highs. I think that's an issue. Here's the AI poster child. There's a lot of distribution in Palantir. Think we're going to get a correction and revisit that low from, the panic that we had a week and a half ago. Semis, semis look heavy. This was the leading group. I think it's the most vulnerable group. So it hasn't happened yet in a big way, but I think that the action is saying that we're rounding out a top in both
Mm.
S&Ps and some of the leaders. So I think that's what's going to be behind a yen decline, is that it gets some
Yeah.
safe haven buying.
Yeah, we had a bit of that last week, right? The Thursday move, yen strengthened, but apart from that, it's been a fragile correlation, yen and risk of late.
Yeah.
Because
Anyway,
even with,
so
even with yields coming off,
yeah,
dollar yen is trading back at relative highs of the last, and then you see the yen crosses euro yen in the lead, which is a risk pair as well. I mean, it's still very very high. So maybe yeah, stuff like the commodities, if they come off, then you can trade one of those pairs, like the Aussie yen or the Kiwi yen,
yeah.
but or
I
Canada
sold
yen.
some. I
Uh,
sold some Aussie yen. We got a little bit. We're a little bit above 61.8. But I mean, this break in as far as the yen crosses go, uh, these two never felt Euro yen and Guppy never even filled the gap where Aussie yen just blew right through it and all the
yeah.
support. That I think was a tremor.
Because we had
Um,
that big, yeah, we had that big drop in commodities, but then look, copper is back above $5. Huh?
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, okay. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm still the other side on the yen, but it's just yeah.
Are you on the other side of risk too? You think the
No,
market? Okay.
no, no, no. No, I don't know what to do with the S&P, mate. Really, I don't.
It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if you look at that double top, it could be worth something. But if you get a mild number on tomorrow's CPI, we may be trading back up there, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
Everyone's waiting for tomorrow. We're always waiting for something, aren't we?
Oh yeah,
Um,
oh yeah.
yeah. So, thank you, Kay. Ryan, how are you today?
Good morning, sir.
So, can the euro dig in its heels before we take out 1550 and even give us a rally back to 16 and a half, which I would sell if we got it? Or are we just going to melt from here and cable, same thing? Is there one more pop left in these things before they take out the lows from the middle of the month?
It's going to take something. I think it could be the CPI tomorrow that
CPI,
does it.
CPI.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
The bad news is we got volatility falling in euro. It's down to pretty
yeah,
much 6%, which isn't good news. Under 6%, we start getting really quiet. But yeah, 115.70s has been a bit of a level that we can't seem to get and hold below for long. It was the low yesterday. If you zoom out a bit, you'll see we've had little tests of that 115.70s.
yeah,
Yes, yeah. So pretty much a low yesterday, and it goes
yeah.
back. We've had little pokes below, but we can't hold there. And the last time we held there, we got that double bottom at 115.40s. So I think not a strong bounce today off of that level. So it's looking like we're going for another test, and that might be the one that breaks it. I'm still got my eye on that 115. That's my main level. If we get down there, but it's probably going to take something to get us there.
Your Swiss trade is working, grinding higher.
Yeah.
You have targets on this trade to the upside, and
Well,
what did you buy at this reversal day that we had last week? This I think it was
I'm in
this
Euro
candle.
Swiss, so
Oh,
I'm in the
Euro
other one.
Swiss.
I'm in Euro
Okay.
Swiss because we had
All
a
right.
massive level down at 92, and that it's the same. You can look it up. It's
Is it
the
the
same
same
one.
looking chart?
Pretty much, yeah. Euro dollar Swiss sort of went a bit before Euro Swiss did, so that had already bounced from its sort of key support
Okay.
area.
I see.
Yeah, it was a similar, but it's creeping up 96, 96, 92, 55, 60 is the level it's got to get back above. You can see there we stopped there on the way down. It's managed to do what, 40, 44 pips in 3 days. Huge, massive.
It's you know, I know you're not 62 yet, are you? Because that falls into retired people's Forex trades. Senior citizen Forex trades. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I've held the trade for 6 months. I'm up about 38 pips. Right? Something like something like that.
It's still moving
Well,
faster than euro sterling.
At least you're on the right side of the funding.
Yeah, which is not the case in euro sterling, but yeah, this one's, we'll see. Again, it's a real big level. If you go onto something like a daily or a weekly, you'll see how big it is down here at 92.
US dollar max guys have an opinion. We going for new lows or what? What a mess.
Still in the box. Still can't stay above 1850, but it doesn't look like it wants to test the 1820 lows.
Yeah.
So it's still wait and see, this one. Going sideways.
They're taking some markets away from us, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
You know, lower volatility ranges, leaving
different
less
boxes.
Yeah, no trends.
No.
Really, you know, I guess this is an uptrend that's being tested. Anyway, so maybe you have to look elsewhere. I guess the metals stole the show. So why don't we take a quick look at Bitcoin, because sometimes there's a rotation out of gold into Bitcoin. I looked at it. It's trying to hold here.
Is that a rotation out the frying pan into the fire?
Yeah, that's what they do. There is, it seems like they rarely run together. So, it's trying to hold this double bottom. It could just as easily break down as it could, gets back over 114, it'll look okay. So let's bring the boss in, and I bet he'll have more conviction than the three of us combined.
I don't.
Oh, I lost another bet today. I better stop betting.
I mean, seriously, it's I hear all this waffling around, and I couldn't agree more. But here's the thing. Tomorrow we should probably get some good direction following the CPI, and I think if I can just quickly just show you guys the euro. I think the euro is pretty easy to decipher. Not because. And I'm not saying this just because I'm short. I'm not saying, my positions won't matter because I don't think I'll be in the position, going into tomorrow. But, strong data. It's pretty clear. We probably break this 115.40 level, and we trade back into the 114s. Weak data. And you get a nice response from here, and you trade back up towards 117. As long as it's something that's a little outside expectations. And I have a feeling that because there's going to be so many people focused on the data tomorrow, and holy crap, you guys seeing what's happening with sterling? Is any news out other than just whack-a-mole on stops? Ryan, is that it?
What's happening?
Sterling's coming under a little pressure. I mean, just I would say that the dollar is actually moving a little bit. Anyway,
all 9 pips of it.
I know. You see these big moves, and you're like, "Whoa, big moves, big intraday moves," and it's really nothing. Anyway, going back to what I was saying, Dale, I think everybody's going to be focused on and in front of their computers tomorrow. So even if the data is not outside, expectations too far, I still think there's going to be a reaction because everybody's in front of their computer and everybody's looking to get some positions going, or reversing or whatever. And I think the bigger reaction you're probably going to get is if data comes in strong and you see, the euro dollar slip below these lows, this trend line, we start trading back below here because positioning is still very much long euros. If you look at this CFTC data, I'll pull it up really quick. Uh, you can see it's still fairly lopsided for CFTC positioning. If you go to the 6E here, there we go. You can see speculators still, this is historically pretty high, and you can see right here, this is over the last 5 years. We're still, pretty aggressively long, like from a speculator, fast money standpoint.
Yeah.
So, I still think that if the euro slipped through, 114, or excuse me, 115.40, these lows right here, we'll probably, go on a little bit of a run, and challenge the 114 level again. So strong CPI data will do that. And plus, you have expectations over the next two rate decisions, one next week, by the way. You have, basically
Fed.
two
Yeah.
interest rate cuts uh, given over the next couple of months, going into next week's meeting and Friday's
This,
meeting. So a hot number, I don't know if it's going to change it much, but it could. And if it does, maybe we see a bit of a reaction there. But that's I don't have a lot of conviction when it comes to that. Now, there is one thing though. We talk about. I know you guys have talked about precious metals. I'm looking at gold. I'm very, very. I would be very nervous about buying gold at this point. I know 4,000 is what everybody's looking at. The double top actually completes a little bit lower than that, like at 39.65. But there's a term that we've used a lot over the years, and everybody here has seen it. Up on an escalator, down on an elevator. I think the elevator shaft still has further to go. I still think this has been such a massive move for so long, Dale, that I think we could see the mid 3,000s. I think we
I
could see
agree.
3,500 again. So I
I'd
wouldn't
love
want
a
to be stepping
rally.
in front of this right
Would
now.
would you sell a rally back to 4,200 or so?
Well, yeah,
4,250?
of course.
We had
But
one.
me, you, your mom, my mom's uncle's nephew, my mom's uncle's nephew's
Well,
monkey, everybody's going to be trying to sell up here. There's no effing way on the face of the planet we're getting back to 4,200.
okay.
You want to talk conviction? I guess there's my conviction.
Okay.
Everybody's going to be trying to sell up there. So my fear is that we stall at this 38% retracement and we can't make it up there. No, but I'm joking as far as saying we're not going to make it up there. I mean, I just think there's going to be thousands and thousands of traders trying to get out, just layered with sell orders up here. I just don't think we're going to see it. Me
Well, that's why
personally.
it'll go to 4,250.
What's that?
That's why it'll go to 4,250. They'll try to 42. They'll get squeezed for $50, get out, and that'll be the sale.
Maybe. I just think that this is such a dramatic, it's been such a dramatic move for so long. I mean, I'm not sure what I want to do with it here. I'm just saying that I sure as hell wouldn't want to be a buyer. That's the thing, is I just wouldn't want to be a buyer. This has been too aggressive of a move higher, too aggressive of a move on an escalator, and I think that the elevator shaft is just, we've got still some floors to go. But
Yeah.
that's, again, my own personal opinion. I can't get long gold. No way.
I think there are a lot of people afraid to short it.
Yeah, but then you look at silver, and I know that's a false breakout long term. I know I'm
I called it.
huh?
I called it.
Yeah, you did, Dale. You gold silver ratio. And
Yeah.
look, we've been looking at that weekly chart and saying, that is a false breakout. So, with silver kind of trading heavy, I think gold's, at risk. And that doesn't mean that gold's never going higher again or silver's never going higher again. Not at all. I just think we're going to see lower prices, and we'll give everybody an opportunity to reload at better prices too.
Yeah, and then
By the way,
maybe
we
it
do
just
have
needs
Canadian
time.
retail sales coming up here in just a
Yeah.
few minutes. So I want to go around and see if the gang has any comments regarding the Canadian, because the Canadian, surprisingly, the last couple of days has softened. I actually got an opportunity to buy the dollar CAD. I've been telling our traders I've been looking to buy around these levels. We have the 200 DMA supporting just below. This is a big rounded bottom, cup and handle, however you want to look at it. This is a nice base that's been developed. I think the dollar CAD is eventually going to see 143. I think the Canadian economy is going to suffer a little bit worse than most. And so I've been looking to buy this dip, but we have retail sales that are arguably a little old, but hey, everybody's clamoring for some data here. So Ryan, what do you think? You think we're going to get a movement off of this Canadian retail sales data?
Yeah, we could do if there's big variation to it. We're expecting a big turnaround. It was down 0.8% last time, down 1.2 ex autos, expecting a gain of 1.3 in that one. So yeah, it's got the potential to be a miss of expectations. And yeah, the big level that I was telling everyone about for the last week or so, 139.79. That was your bottom, give or take a few pips, and we got a bounce there yesterday. But again, that bounce isn't that strong, which is a bit of a worry. It couldn't retake 140, so it's intraday. It's looking a bit bearish.
It is not trading. It is not trading well, and I noticed that because I picked it up yesterday, and it's just not trading very well. At least not yet. Okay, do you have any opinions on the dollar CAD here?
I think 140 is a pretty interesting zone, huh? Where your 140.18 there, around that zone, 15, 20, 25. It's relatively interesting. You get back above. We could finally start to push up to 41, one and a half maybe. Close the week below. It's maybe a different story, right? I don't know what they're up to with their USMCA there, because there's a lot of chatter going around between Canada and the US, but then only looks bilateral, and I don't know really what to think about it. But just coming back to what happened yesterday, I know we or the day before we had that slightly higher CPI in Canada, but the day before the Bank of Canada survey was not good at all. So to me, next week Bank of Canada still cuts, but now we will see with those retail sales whether it's giving a if it's giving any volatility.
Yeah, yeah, we will see. Hey, I see Steve here. Steve, you had and thank you, Kay. Thanks, Ryan. Um, uh, any comments? I know we're gonna have Canadian retail sales here in 1 second. By the way, Dale, do we have an interview?
Not today.
Not today. Okay. Well, you know what, Steve, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to come back to you after the retail sales data. Maybe we can get some observations that you've been making since in just a few seconds after we get this data. I'll come back to you and we'll go with that. Dale, what are you thinking today as this data is coming out?
Well, I'm really concentrated on stock in some individual stocks, and I'm positioned on the short side of semiconductors. And I'm going to be one of the million people. I won't short gold, I'll short silver, but I'd love a rally back there, a nice failing rally to sell into.
Yeah,
So
if we can
as
get
far
it.
as the dollar's concerned, I'm a little underwater on some Aussie yen and I put more on. So I'm just scaling, put one on at 50%, one here at 61.8, and then I'll put one on at 78.6 and then be wrong over the high on
So,
Aussie
in
yen.
our and by the way, the retail sales numbers came in a little worse than expected, but the revisions were they're upward revised last month. So, anyway, no real reaction in the dollar CAD right now. But you were talking about the yen, and I heard you talking a little bit about the Aussie yen earlier. And we were in our chat room yesterday having a big discussion about the yen. And K-Man confirmed this. I always like to listen to what K-Man has to say regarding the yen. We were just saying that we can't really find a reason to be long yen. I get the risk off because we saw when the markets came off what is it, a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, the yen actually firmed up a little bit. But then it just, the elasticity, it just bounces right back. And with the new prime minister, it's really, really tough to be long yen. But the other thing about the yen, I just want to point out is something that I talked about yesterday in the chat room, last night on the trade-off show. I know K-Man's been talking about it today too. This euro yen is sitting at all-time highs,
No, no,
quietly
no, no.
consolidating above
But
all-time highs. I mean, it is not wanting to fill this gap. It's had plenty of time, plenty of opportunity to do it, and it's just sitting here, just hovering at all-time highs. So I don't know, K-Man. I know you've kind of illustrated your thoughts on the yen thus far,
mm,
but it's hard, and it's a tough decision. Even if stocks come off, it's going to be tough,
mm.
you know.
Well, I can't. For one, I can't be long in. It's always a case of like 24, 48 hours, and then afterwards the thing reverses again. So no, I can't because I'm just seeing maybe the more medium term picture, and it's just still one of a weakish or weaker yen. And if you think about what she will do with the finances in Japan, and if you think that even if you think Bank of Japan raises rates, they are at 0.5%. The next rate hike is not expected before December. By the way, I think in December they go. They will hike. I'm not in the majority, but I think they will. But that's December. I mean, still a month and a half away. So yeah, I can't see any reason now to be long yen, barring maybe the one session where risk off hits, and then we pick up the same story again because they spend money.
I mean, she's Abe 2.0 and
Yeah.
maybe a little bit lesser respect, but it's I'll tell you that this yen, it's been a hard fade, and I've joined you, Dale, from time to time, trying to sell some of these yen pairs, and it's been a really tough trade. And then yesterday, the dollar yen actually hit a new trend high, broke into a brand new weekly high when it traded above this 152.40 level. So now intraday, the dollar yen's trying to make its way higher. I know it's pulled back a little bit here in the last few minutes, but it's
You doing
still trading.
anything in S&Ps, Blake?
As far as the S&Ps go, I mean, I just want to sell rips. I'm
Well, that's
just been
pretty good
shorting
rip.
every rally I can find. It is a lower high. I mean, that's the thing from yesterday. It's a lower high, but we're holding the 38% retracement. So, again, it's another tough trade. Very frustrating. If you get short equities, you can't short into the hole. You got to short rallies, because if you short into the hole, you get it shoved right up in your butt right again, as soon as you do it. So you can't. And I shorted on some of those headlines yesterday, and it was so frustrating. It took me, I don't know, an hour and a half to get out of my short yesterday. I shorted this move,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, I shorted this move, and then it took like an hour and a half just to get back to like, I took a really small loss. I was like, man, that was frustrating. No, it was this. I'm sorry, it was this one. It was,
Yeah.
I shorted this move. It took about 45 minutes just to get back to my break even spot, and I was just like, screw this, man. And I mean, it's a hard market to short, and then at the same time, I'm sure anybody who's long is finding it equally as frustrating as well. So,
They're
hey,
not worried.
yeah, Steve,
Longs.
Steve, I wanted to come to you just really quick. I know you keep a keen eye on the markets, obviously. Any observations that you've made as of late? Steve, you're muted. if you're trying to speak. He might have just stepped away from his computer. All right. Well, with that being said, Dale, since you don't have a guest today, and remember, today is one of those days that I think we got to be cognizant that there's going to be a lot of position squaring ahead of the CPI tomorrow. So just, is there anything else that I missed out here, Ryan?
Yeah, you're
K-Man?
right. It's going to be like an NFP Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think so. And then plus we're getting all the PMI data tomorrow too, like Eurozone, UK PMIs, US PMIs will be coming out tomorrow as well. So tomorrow's going to be a pretty busy day, and it's going to be a good day to be here on the Face show because we're going to be covering the CPI live, so you don't want to miss it. No, that's pretty much it, Dale. If unless the other guys have anything, I'm done here.
Okay, what Ryan, K-Man, final thoughts?
Don't know.
Go ahead, mate. Go ahead.
Yeah, take it away.
Okay, I guess thank you very much. Thank you for your final thoughts. Take it away.
I gave all of them.
Please don't ask me to say anything. 'Cause I don't know
Yeah.
what the hell.
Yeah,
What the
give
hell?
us your final thoughts.
Tell you what, my final thoughts. Buy gold at 41.18, sell it at 41.18 and a half, buy it back at 41.18, and you at least made a few peeps today.
Yeah, okay, back on the floor. Back at the desk. Okay,
Exactly.
so that's a wrap, everyone. We can't make a Picasso out of watercolors here today, but tomorrow we'll be able to react to the reaction and find some things to do. So, it's okay to relax a day before the fireworks. Get ready, have all your levels ready so you're not, impulse trading. You're trading based upon the reasons. If you don't have those kind of important levels to trade off of, then join the community and you'll see them all every day, anytime you need them. So that's a wrap, everyone. Have a great day. Remember, don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And, I was thinking that with all of this stuff around rare earths, minerals, with China, everyone, go to YouTube and pull up some of their music. It was a pretty good band, Rare Earth. And I'll leave you with that. Adios, everyone. You're very welcome.
Thanks, Coach.
Cheers, Dale.
See you, Blake. See you, Ryan. See you, Kay.
Nice one.